Okay, welcome everyone. I'm Peter Berger and I'm going to take this presentation for you. I remember I was in the same place 1 year ago and I did a presentation on branding for a product that nobody wants to buy. And this is a little bit of the continuation of this argument. There are a few concepts, and I don't know if you know any of these concepts. You can see on the top concept from Goodyear. This one is probably the best known concept. It's called the airless tire. So basically here the weight of the vehicle is not supported by air, but there are strings inside the tire. And this is the newest concept from Michelin, which is actually a 3D printed tire that could even adapt to the surface of the ground and communicate with the car. If you haven't seen these concepts, and obviously tires are essential products in our life, but not necessarily the product that we search on the internet every day. In my opinion, and I'm in love with this product, but in reality this product shouldn't exist, because the product itself is not something that people would like to buy. So no one wakes up in one morning and says that, okay, I like to go to the tire shop and I like to buy a tire. So in my opinion, this product should disappear as a product to purchase, and instead of this, it should be a monthly subscription. Any of you heard about this concept? Not really. Okay, so how this whole concept came into my mind, and I'm not the only one in the industry and probably not the first one, because this concept as a tire as a service actually came from the commercial tire segment, where most of the companies working with the cost per kilometer or cost per hour approach. It means that they measure what is the performance of the tire on a truck, in an earth mover vehicle, and they price it according to that. And I was wondering how this could be implemented for the passenger car, but this whole process was actually targeted from the customer experience. We usually say that if you can sell tires, you can sell anything, because selling tires is like selling headache. It's very similar like going to the dentist. It's painful, it takes your time away, it's very expensive. Usually you find it out by either an accident, a puncture, or you go to the service center and they tell you that the tires are already used, so you have to exchange it. Depending on your vehicle, you have to check availabilities, the right tire for your car. Some cars you can only fit marked tires and specific brands. So it's quite a complicated, inconvenient process. There are tools which can immediately scan your tires. One tool is what you can see here, and this tool is a portable tool. It's about 2 times of a phone as a size, and the tires can be scanned, okay, according to the supplier 5 seconds, but let's say 4 tires you can scan in 1 minute. And what is even better, there are already tools fitted in the service center. So when the car passing, there are laser beams fitted in the ground, and this is producing a report to you. This report is quite visual. It's going to tell you if you have any kind of accident or damage on the tire. So it's scanning the surface of the tire. It's like, you know, these radars which are scanning the surface of the ocean. It's going to tell you the same. So you can have a normal tread, and then you can have issues. In this scan, there is a shoulder wear for this tire. That's why it's shown yellow. If you do these reports regularly, you can quite well predict the life of the tire. And with the new technologies, the accidental damages are also lower with the tires that you cannot completely eliminate. But with this tool, you can really much predict what is going to be the life of your tire. In terms of the experience, it should be instant and quick. So there are options. You don't have to go anymore to the service center. There is a possibility that the service van is coming to your location and can change the tire. Not for your Bugatti, but for your other cars. What we need for this model? The only thing that we need in reality is data, because everything else is available. The tools are available, the network is there. This is the platform that we built. This was called mypirelli.ai. It's still called like this. what this platform included? It's included, obviously, reports on the tire. It's included your cars, because how people start to appreciate this model is when they realize how much time they spend to exchange tires. In average, a person exchanges tires every 3 years for a car, okay, depending on the kilometers covered. So if you have 2 cars, it's going to decrease to 1.5 years. Okay, depending obviously, but usually you don't exchange the tires at the same time. If you have 5 cars, probably every year or maybe twice a year you exchange tires. So if this service exists, it really gives a value to you. How the purchase model is going to look like? Obviously there should be a buy-in. So when people get in touch with their regular service network, tire shop, a car dealership and so on, they should receive a special offer. The special offer, in our case, it was a complete peace of mind warranty on the car tire. So even if there is an accident or damage, the tire was exchanged according to the remaining life. Okay, so if the person used 90% of the value, 10% was included in the new tire price. So, which are the challenges that this model can solve? One big issue, and I worked 15 years in the Middle East, there is a huge issue, the DOT and the origin. So some customers completely refuse tires, regardless of the brand, if the tire is coming from China. It's changing, but it's still there. And there is the DOT, which is the date of production. People think, and Michelin made a beautiful campaign on this, saying that tires are not bananas, so they don't expire. It's very visually easy to see because the banana is changing color. You know, the tires remain fresh, even after 3-5 years on the shelf, if you keep it in good conditions. Because with high temperatures, so on, with the surface ozone, it can be damaged, but in reality, this should be maintained. With this model, if there's a monthly subscription and the company guarantees you your tire and the exchange of the tire, you are not going to look at any more DOT, date of production, and you are not going to look at the origin of the tire because it's guaranteed to you. There was a big issue in Middle East, and I developed this model in the Middle East on the parallel market. Parallel market means that tires which are sold not by the official distributor. So these tires could come anywhere, any other places from the world. It can be an issue for the consumer as well, but it's a big issue for the company, obviously. Supply chain. You can imagine if you can predict the life of the tire, if you can predict the number of customers will exchange tires per car, per model, per city and geography, the supply chain can be really improved, because still, as of today, some people still air freight tires. Why this model is still not implemented as far as I know? Because it creates a huge internal conflict with the company. If you sell a product, your initial income is going to be very high because you sell a set of tires. With the subscription model, it's going to be an investment for the company because it still has to produce the tires. But with the monthly installments, your payments are going to come every month, so for the same value that you could sell previously on a single day. In terms of the OEs, it's a huge advantage because it's a big problem for the OEs. I'm talking about the car manufacturers. Because for the car manufacturers, they have regular conflict with their own customers. First of all, their margins are higher, so people are not going to the service centers anymore. Then the second thing, if a tire is not available, they are depending on the tire manufacturer completely. So if the consumer wants to buy a Michelin set of tires for a car, and you don't have it on stock as a car dealer, then you have to check with the tire manufacturer, the tire distributor, and it's a long, complicated process. The digital platform that was built, the advantage for the end users, obviously, access to the reports, access to the purchase behavior, the consumption, the amount of money that they spent. It should be a 360-degree end-user interface. This platform included also events, special activations by the brand. So it was more also for a community platform for the CRM purposes and the home service that we discussed. If you have a tire that is under pressure, for example, you can have a consumption 20-30% higher than if you maintain the right pressure. Convenient user experience. I don't know if you face this issue. If your alignment is wrong, if your tire has issues, shoulder wear, it can be very, very annoying. It can be also very noisy. So the customer experience with the maintained tire should be much different. And the complete peace of mind is the concept that we said, is that you shouldn't think about your tires anymore. Tire should disappear from your mind. You should consider it as a service that you pay for every month, and it's completely taken care of by the company. In terms of sustainability, and this is more about the environmental factors, with the longer tire life, we have a lower carbon footprint. This is a huge issue, the tire collection, because most of the parts in the world, the distributors are responsible for collecting tires. But for example, in the Middle East, and I don't know if any of you seen this kind of fires, when there is a big tire graveyard with millions of tires and the fire starts, it's almost unstoppable because the heat is extreme and the pollution is terrible. So this should be also solved. If the company has the complete record of this, they are also responsible for collecting the tires, so when they fit the new set, they have to take care of the old one, right? Where this model could be the best implemented is, in my opinion, the car dealers. Because if you look at a single brand like Pirelli, Michelin, Bridgestone, Goodyear, Continental, you have to stick to the brand. And I build this for Pirelli, but in my opinion, this should be implemented in the car dealerships, because what is not included in the service contract is actually the tire. All the others, air filter and so on, included. Here the dealers could save 80% of the customers that they lose. And they lose more and more customers with the time, because as the age of the car is increasing, the probability that you fit premium tires is decreasing. And these are the percentages in the Middle East according to our experience in terms of lost customers. So in case of this model, the dealer is not depending anymore on the tire manufacturer, because if you can supply them with data previously, they will have to make the offer to you to supply the tires. You understand? They will know that you already have the customers there waiting, and you can predict it. And obviously, you can implement all the benefits in your service center, including the tire insurance that I mentioned before. And the application obviously can be more attractive to the customers because they don't want to maintain an application only on tires. And this is it. I hope it was interesting for you guys. And if you have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer. Yes?
What do you think about the, the subscription system is a good one with regard to circularity.
Yeah.
So I think all the businesses should be provided as a service.
Yeah.
However, if we consider that the future of the automotive industry is a self-driving car, what do you think? Won't it be involved in the whole package?
It should be, in my opinion. So the whole EV and autonomous driving change is hurting many industries, but not the tires. Because the tires are going to be still there and will be some of the remaining moving parts of the car. The reason why tires were not included in the service contracts, in the maintenance, because it's a risky product, because you can have an accidental damage. And when you have a puncture and people start to argue, no, it's a warranty issue, this was complicated before, not anymore. In the whole world, but especially in the area where I work, in the Middle East, most of the tire dealers are coming from Yemen, and a big part of them are illiterate. So selling a model like this is going to create a lot of internal conflicts with sales, logistics. You can imagine, you take their job, right? And you have to educate also all the levels. You have to educate your distributor, you have to educate your dealers, you have to educate the car dealerships, the puncture shops. That's the complication of this. But this is going to happen, in my opinion. And in my opinion, for a consumer, tire should be like Amazon. You go on, you click, you select the plan that you want to make, you select the brand that you want to fit, and so on. It's going to be a complex process. Thanks a lot for your attention.